Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another daily vlog in the extremely rainy Hamburg. Unfortunately, it is July and it is terrible summer weather. Before we start, public safety announcement. I am in my car. Please do not text and drive. Do not film yourself with a display on. Don't get distracted whilst driving. I intentionally switch off my display, or with the DJI Pocket 3 turn the camera around that you don't get distracted by the display. Always drive safe. If you vlog, don't do it in an emotional state and treat it as if you were talking on the speakerphone. Today's vlog is a little bit about being stuck in a couple of places, basically. This video probably doesn't have really a point. It's just kind of sharing what I've been kind of noticing over the few last months, actually. First and foremost, starting with my age and perceived age. So I am over 40, in the mid 40s. And I am in a very fortunate position that I look younger than I actually am. So it's not only that I think it, but also from when I talk to other people. For example, in Muay Thai, I often get asked, "Oh, are you training to go into a fight?" And I always reply, "I'm way too old to go into a fight." And they are like, how old are you? Aren't you like 30 or something? And you aren't that old. And I'm telling, no, I'm over 40. And while I think I could train for a fight, my recovery time takes way too long, in my humble opinion. Plus, I have too many responsibilities. I don't want to go to a job with a blue eye and stuff like that. So that's the first point. And then the second point is, in my past, I've been in so many situations where I've been in a client meeting with a high profile client sitting in that room. That client comes into the room and is not saying hello to me because that person was under the impression that I am an intern or just a pure assistant that would leave the room afterwards anyway. And then we start working and another client asked me about my opinion, and then suddenly that high profile client is like, "Oh, hold on, who's that person?" And then they say, "Oh, that's our editor that we're paying and that has been kind of taking care of this job the whole time." And then that client is like, "Oh, okay." So there have been a couple of situations where people kind of thought I am a young intern or whatever, or not as important. But I kind of like that, to be somewhat underestimated and not be taken seriously. And then they realize, oh, okay, that person has actually something to say and is somewhat important in this project. But also with YouTube, I sometimes feel like I am in this weird space of not, or being perceived as a young person and potentially not knowing what I'm talking about. You know, when I'm sometimes say I would love to be somewhat of a mentor or start teaching, but then sometimes I have seen some comments where it is like, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about?" So somewhat reading between the lines, the person saying like, "Oh, you have no idea what you're talking about. You've never been in the film industry, or you're way too young to know about that stuff," you know. Then I'm telling them, I've been in the film industry for over 20 years, and they're like, how can you be in the film industry for over 20 years? Did you start when you were 9 years old? And I'm like, no, I'm actually over 40. And that's so funny to me. But on the other hand, I am looking. So for example, on one hand, I'm looking too young for some people. Then on the other hand, I'm looking too old to be that kind of hip and cool little social media star in a way. You know, I sometimes don't know, when it comes down to YouTube, I don't know what people I am actually kind of targeting towards. Am I more for people that are over 40, or am I more for people that are younger? And that is not a problem that I'm having with my channel or with my main channel, but I sometimes feel like with this second channel, I don't really know who my target demographic is, you know? I feel like sometimes those people who are in the mid-40s and are looking for a creator that speaks to what they're going through, they look at me and my channel and think like, oh, that person might be too young. And this is just hypothetically. I don't know if anyone is actually thinking that way, but just based on my experience, how I am being perceived, I sometimes think that might be the case, and might be the case why some people maybe not be attracted to my content. And then on the other hand, I think that for some younger new creators, I might be a little bit too preachy, and they think, oh, that person is a boomer or whatever. So I don't know. It sometimes is. Again, this video has no point. I'm just sharing what's going on through my head sometimes, and is purely based on some of the experiences that I have when I have been working with some clients that were somewhat underestimating me, or didn't really were able to put me in some form of category, because we are living in a world where people need to put people into a category to kind of understand them better and know how to deal with them. And sometimes I feel like I'm hard to put into a specific category, and that's sometimes a little bit weird to me. It's great. As I said, sometimes I like to be underestimated, and then I wait my moment in a client meeting, and then I pull out the big guns, and then they are like, oh, okay. Also, I mean, it's the same thing. Sometimes they think, oh, I'm that unexperienced editor, and then they say, okay, how long do you need for that client feedback, that revisions? A day, 2 days? And then I'm like, no, I'm done. Here you go. And they're like, what? And that's definitely what I like. I'm always of the belief to, what's the saying? Under promise, over deliver. And it works really well when people don't really know how to, what to think of me, or what my skill sets are. But yeah, with YouTube, sometimes it is difficult in terms of knowing, especially with my main channel that has been plateauing for a while, to kind of know where I stand, or what kind of people are watching me, to kind of evaluate, oh, okay, what should I do with my channel sometimes, you know? I mean, now I'm at the point where I'm just like, oh, I just want to enjoy the process, and the video is now 15 minutes. Who cares? I'm just going to post it. I don't worry too much about the view count. But there has been a time where I sometimes didn't know where I stand. And by the way, in Germany, when we go into a traffic jam, we always put on our hazard lights so people behind us know that in high-speed situations we are stopping. So yeah, that was, again, this video doesn't have a real point. I just wanted to share my thought process, and yeah, don't know what to ask you, but if you want to see yesterday's vlog about my wife and I decluttering our home. Check out the video up here. YouTube thinks that you like the video down here. And maybe, even though this video didn't have a real point and you want to see more of my videos, consider subscribing and helping me out to get to 1,000 subscribers by clicking the button up here. I see you tomorrow in the next daily vlog. Thank you very much.